It is week 2 of the Wolfey Draft League, and your Jubilife Piplups are taking on Mountaih and his immunity idols. If you don't know, this is our third time playing Mount in the Wolfey Draft League, as we played him twice in the first season, where we played him in the regular season as well as the top 4 of playoffs. So we are going to be in for an exciting match. I know Mount is an absolute demon in Draft League. This is not going to be an easy one, but I do think that I have a lot of prep going into this, and we'll see how it goes. But let's break down our matchup real quick and then go over the team. So the matchup against Mount, if you don't know his draft, absolutely threatening because he's got a lot of the top tiers in the current VGC Champions metagame. And in fact, you could probably take like the first 5 and it would be a really impressive just VGC team in general. We have Charizard Y, the Mega Pokemon that summons the sun, absolute demon threat that I will have to be thinking about, as Blastoise doesn't have the best initial matchup against Charizard when we are playing in the sun. We have that Sneasler, super big threat that does do a ton of damage with its really high base attack stat, really fast, and does have access to Dire Claw, which can be very scary here. The Aerodactyl, of course, that has access to really fast Tailwind, is faster than most of my Pokemon other than the Dragapult. That Sableye, I'm not really worried about the Mega Form in this match, but I am going to be worried about any prankster shenanigans that Mount does have. I know that I do have some tools with the Aromatisse as well as the Serena, but I still think that the Sableye can be scary, especially with like maybe Sunny Day Disruption. Garchomp, of course, terrifying Mon. Heliolisk is actually really good to me because it's got really great abilities. There's the Empoleon, which I don't think I'm really too worried about. I could see it maybe, but I just don't think it's likely to be broad here, especially when I have a lot of tools against it. Victory Bell, though, absolute demon Pokemon. Like, this thing gets access to Sleep Powder, really strong stabs, which is going to be pretty problematic for my team. And then I'm not worrying about the Slurpuff or the Chimecho. I just don't think those Pokemon ever come into my team. So let's break down the team that I decided to go with against Mount for this week. So for this week, I have decided to go with some pretty extensive prep with Trick Room Aromatisse. This is going to be one of the most that I do have access to against Mount. And I have gone through several different set item debate changes just throughout the team building process. So this Espafra is going to be a key component to the plan against Mount here. And the idea is to have that speed boost pairing because it allows me to outspeed the Aerodactyl and a bunch of other Pokemon after those speed boosts, which can be really nice, especially for maybe outpacing under Tailwind, which can be effective if Mount decides to bring the Tailwind Aerodactyl. And I really do like Lumina Crash, allowing my Blastoise to do a ton of damage. Even my Dragapult, if I do set up that scenario, can be really nice. And the thing is, Rain Dance is just really solid to play around the Sableye Prankster because they can go for Sunny Day. Doesn't really matter. I can go for normal Rain Dance and outspeed the Charizard and get that Rain setup, which can be very effective here. And Mental Herb is just such a great item here because it allows me to not have to worry about the Sableye, even though there is, like, I could have brought Serena or I could have brought Aromatisse. But just being able to dodge Taunt while having that pressure next to Blastoise, I think is way more effective. So Mental Herb is pretty nice. The EVs on this Espafra too, I think are just really great because one, I'm able to outspeed, for instance, any max speed Garchomp, and that includes the Charizard Y, guaranteed. So that's really effective here. And then a lot of bulk on this Espafra. I don't think I need Focus Sash on this Espafra because I was calculating a bunch of things and it looks like I live pretty much any attack here. For instance, such as the Sneasler attacks, I pretty much live everything, even like Black Glass's Drill Chop that Mount can do. I live a Gunk Shot. The only thing I probably don't live is Poison Barb Gunk Shot on the Espafra. That's like the only move that could potentially knock me out, and that's a very risky situation. So I don't think that we are going to see Poison Barb Gunk Shot either. So I live like any other attack that Mount can really throw off into the Espafra with Sneasler, as well as like maybe some Charizard Heat Waves. So that is kind of the idea behind this bulky Espafra that allows me to run the Mental Herb. And again, it's really good into the Sableye. So I think with this option, it's going to be pretty impactful because that Rain Dance, again, super useful in the Charizard, but that Pound Speed control can be really nice for allowing Blastoise or Rotom Heat to be able to outspeed threats such as the Garchomp or the Charizard Y, which is pretty big in my opinion. But it's going to pair really well with my Blastoise because that Rain Dance water type moves do a ton of damage against Mount, and that's why I am bringing this Blastoise Fake Out support in case I absolutely need Fake Out, just so I can get an extra speed turn with the Espafra without having to worry about like Encore Lock shenanigans and it can help me set up the Trick Room with my Aromatisse mode. We have Water Spout and Water Pulse because I want that spread water type move, as well as like an extra way to hit in case like the Blastoise gets weakened earlier on. And then we're running Aura Sphere, which is pretty nice into the Heliolisk, as well as potential Empoleon if it is going to be broad. So this EV spread on the Empoleon does allow me to always live modest max special attack Solar Beam. It gives me an extra stat point in the special attack boost, and the speed does allow me to outspeed the Heliolisk after I go for the pounce with my Espafra. So that's kind of the idea here. Also, to complement the mode is going to be the Choice Scarf Dragapult. This allows me to outspeed a max speed Victory Bell, which is pretty important even if it has Chlorophyll, and it allows me to threaten it with like Flamethrower for the knockout in Sun, which is pretty nice. Allows me to outspeed max speed Garchomp if it's Choice Scarf, which can be nice, and then have good coverage with Thunderbolt and Psychic Fangs for that Sneasler especially. So that is kind of the idea, and then the rest is going to go into the bulk. Then we also have this Rotom Heat here with Lumberry just as a backup answer to the Victory Bell, with Overheat, Thunderbolt, Helping Hand, and Protect. I do have some Helping Hand techs with the Dragapult, and that's kind of the idea here with the Dragapult. Go for the Helping Hand in case like maybe there's a potential Bond Berry on the Garchomp or any of those Resist Berries. I think it can be a pretty nice tech, and especially allowing my Snorlax or my Blastoise to sweep under Trick Room conditions, I think can be pretty solid. It's 1 point faster than my Blastoise, so I don't speed type with my Blastoise, but again, it's kind of the idea where like, okay, I can still outspeed like the Heliolisk after a -1 from Pounce can be pretty effective. Then we have my Trick Room mode, Aromatisse, as well as Blastoise. I'm thinking of going with the fast mode into game 1, and then game 2 probably adjusting to the Trick Room route. We're going to go with Aromatisse, and I was debating between Papaya Berry or the potential of Focus Sash. Kabaya Berry was useful into the Sneasler, but I was a little bit worried about like double up situations like Victory Bell plus Charizard can be a little bit annoying. So I thought like, okay, I might as well just go Focus Sash, because if I can go for Fake Out plus Trick Room, I usually always live with Aromatisse guaranteed, and then I'd be able to like do what Aromatisse wants to do under the Trick Room. We have Trick Room, Rain Dance for the setting up the weather, Heal Pulse, which is really nice for the Blastoise that might get weakened at turn 1 when I'm trying to set up Trick Room, and then Moonblast. And max special attack Moonblast can actually have a pretty good chance to OHKO even the most specially defensive of regular Sableye. So I did kind of like the idea of running the Focus Sash here for the Sableye, as it did allow me to open up with a bunch of special attack. And then final Mon is going to be the Chople Berry Snorlax, so I can live a close combat from the Sneasler, and then really good coverage just generally, like good switch in thanks to Thick Fat, resisting the fire type moves, which is pretty nice from the Charizard, and then Rock Slide to be able to punish it, Ice Punch, which is really good in the Garchomp, as well as Aerodactyl, and then High Horsepower hits the Heliolisk, the Empoleon, and the Sneasler. So pretty effective moves around the board. I don't think I need to waste turns setting up with Snorlax when Snorlax can get KOs, especially if Mount goes with like a faster, frailer version of the team. So yeah, just simple, just try and dish out as much damage as I possibly can with the Snorlax while being able to take just general attacks. So that is going to be the team that I am bringing against Mount this week. Let's see if it's going to pay off. All right, we have Charizard, Sableye, Sneasler, Empoleon, Garchomp, and Victory Bell. All right, I was not expecting the Empoleon coming, and no Heliolisk, which is very interesting. Also, no Aerodactyl is definitely fascinating here. Okay. Huh. Wonder what the Empoleon set is, because I'm very curious to see Empoleon being brought here, but alright. What do I want to go against this? Rotom Heat's not bad. Dragapult's solid. Got a lot of potential things that I could do here. I don't mind Dragapult Rotom Heat lead. I think in this, for game 1, I think Dragapult Rotom Heat is probably like one of my better leads in general, because Dragapult just puts on so much pressure. Rotom's pretty solid as well. And then I think in the back is Spafra plus Blastoise, because I like Dragapult plus Rotom because I can nuke something with Helping Hands, as well as just like getting some pretty good damage off. Psychic Fangs is good into the Sneasler, but also pressures the Victory Bell with Flamethrower and Sun. And I don't mind them keeping the weather up. Garchomp, Helping Hand, Draco is definitely a play here. I am expecting maybe Habon or Sash, but we'll figure it out as we see. I would like to figure out items. Okay. I might be a little bit more quiet during this game because I'm really probably going to concentrate on this one, because Mount is a player who is definitely has given me a lot of tough sets before, so we should be in for a good one. Sableye, I got to figure out its moveset because it's going to be the important one probably, and I need to figure out if the Victory Bell is physical or special. So item information is going to be really important here. Let's see what Mount brings. Sableye Sneasler, okay. Which is cool by me as I lead Dragapult plus Rotom. Should be in a pretty good spot here. Yeah, I don't mind this spot. I think, I could go for Thunderbolt. I could go for Psychic Fangs. I feel like Psychic Fangs is super obvious, but we'll see. I could also just Draco Meteor Overheat or Draco Meteor Thunderbolt the Sableye as well, which is also play. Is this Sucker Punch? Is this like actually Mega Sableye he brought? I thought he would bring Support Sableye, but we'll see. I'm going to go for Draco Meteor Overheat. Let's see. I'm not too worried about Sneasler. Swagger. Oh. Dude. That's crazy, actually. Okay. Nicely done. Okay. That's really tough for me to beat. All right. Huh. I also did nothing to that Sableye. Jeez. All right. Looks like this lead was not the play then. Huh. I don't have Wisp on the Rotom, unfortunately. This is super tough. I think I have to go with Spaffer here. Does the Sableye have Faint? It might have Faint. But there's not much I can really do here. I'm going to protect the Spaffer, and I'm going to try to go Blastoise on. We'll see what they decide to do. I do have the Mental Herb on my Espaffra, but okay. If it's this kind of lead, I might switch to... Also, I should probably calc that overheat damage onto the Sableye. Okay. Sableye. Overheat? Okay, he is like probably max special defense or a lot of special defense, which is not surprising. That's what I expected. Okay. Is it Faint? No, he just close combat to Rotom. Shoot, I could have went for the Lumina Crash. Okay. Cooked. Cooked. You know what? He got me. He got me on this. I do have counterplay to this lead. Okay, he has foul play. That's actually good information to note. Swagger, foul play. Huh. Do I go for the double here? I guess I go for the double, right? Or do I think he has Encore and goes for Encore here? I guess I could just go for Lumina Crash. Lumina Crash plus... does Thunderbolt KO at this range? Thunderbolt does KO the Sableye at this range. I do want to try to make it a differential, but we'll see. Throw Chop. So I could have went for the double. That's fine. Hopefully Thunderbolt KOs and I get to reveal Mon. Probably it's going to be Charizard, but at least I get to find that information. Okay, I do KO the Sableye. That's good. So I get to find out the information of what's in the back. Probably Charizard. We'll find out. Garchomp. Okay. So brought Garchomp as well. Actually, was it Lumberry or Prism Berry? I actually do not remember. I saw an item, but... Alright. So we're going to get close combat. Sneasler's going to get pretty much every KO. I think this is still fine, but I gotta figure out how to position next. Against Sableye, I don't mind the Aromatisse here. Aromatisse will put in work. Alright. Alright, that was a rough game one. However, finding that information is still important. I don't think I really got any good information other than it's Swagger on the Sableye, the Sneasler, Throw Chop, Close Combat. Yeah, no, he Mount got that spectacularly. I can't even say anything really about it. Throw Chop, Close Combat. I'm gonna go with my Trick Root then. I do have a Trick Root, and Aromatisse with Sash is actually still pretty good in this matchup. So we will go into Aromatisse plus Blastoise lead. Bring the Rotom Heat in the back, and I guess we're gonna go with Snorlax. Yeah, I guess it's Snorlax here. What stinks is my Chople Bear is not gonna matter against the... against the Sneasler. Although, I think that if he does bring the same things as last time, Trick Room's still really good against him, and Aroma Veil Aromatisse is really, really good into Mount's team. Rain Dance Water Spout will do a ton of damage. Yeah, Rain Dance Water Spout will do a ton of damage. The problem is it depends on how bulky the Sneasler is. I'm kind of curious on what the bulk on the Sneasler is, because depending on foul play damage, I might not KO the Sneasler, which would be a little bit tough. I'm pretty sure Mount will probably adjust, but any adjustment I think is fine for the Trick Room lead. Like, Fake Out Trick Room is just pretty consistent in the Mount's team in general. Let's see what Mount decides to go with. Oh, no, he lets Sneasler Sableye again. Okay, cool. I don't think he has Fake Out. So I'm actually just going to go for Fake Out into the Sneasler, and I'm just going to go for Trick Room. Yeah. Unless the Sableye has Fake Out. The Sableye, I guess, could have Fake Out too, but we'll see. This can be like a lot of calls, potentially, depending on what the Sableye set is. Okay, Sneasler protects. Interesting. Did they just go for foul play here? So they have protect. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. Oh, I really was hoping he was not Fake Out Sableye. Okay, this lead might have actually just destroyed me in general. Do I have counterplay here? Is it just Water Spout? I gotta get a call right of whether you target the Aromatisse or not here. Do I bring Rotom Heat or do I bring Snorlax? I think I'm just gonna attempt to Water Spout Trick Room. Swagger, yep. That makes sense. It was Lumberry. Okay, I was right on that one. It was in Prism. Dire Claw, yep, that's not surprising. Gets the Aromatisse, and then next turn, I guess we'll play a mind game of can I get the Sneasler? I think probably my best option is just to sack my Blastoise at this point. Water Spout. Huge damage, okay. Very, very good damage. That's a start. I think we go out into the Rotom here. Let me calc the damage on the Sneasler with Water Spout. It's definitely frail, it looks like. It has like some bulk, but not that much. Or it's like no bulk Sneasler. It might be no bulk Sneasler. Yeah, I think that's probably... Actually, yeah, it depends, but it could be a mix of either. I think I go Rotom here. And we just click Water Spout and Thunderbolt. If they have Disable, they have Disable. So be it. Not much I can do here. I'm just going to go for Water Spout because if I get an attack off, it will be the Water Spout and we'll go for a T-Bolt. I wonder if they expect me to protect on Blastoise, but yeah, I'm just going to Thunderbolt and Water Spout. Let's see what they decide to click here. Snorlax could potentially win the endgame on its own, which could be really nice here. Like, Snorlax could clutch it up. If it's Charizard Garchomp back, which would be really good for me. Man, this Sneasler's just really annoying. They protect, okay. Ah, they're playing the odds here, okay. I think they were also trying to scout for protect from my side as well, so this plays the odds, which makes sense. Okay. I actually probably would have preferred not to hit through. This was like one of the turns I might have been okay with not hitting through because then they get a free switch now into like Charizard. I still gotta get that Sneasler out of here if I want a chance. I can win the game if I get rid of Sneasler. Yeah, Charizard comes in, that's fine. Did I ever reveal my Rotom set? Did I ever reveal Protect? I do not remember if I did. I feel like their play is just to attack the Rotom here. And Solar Beam. If I get this play right, I'm in a actually good spot. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm already down behind. I kind of had to commit here. I'm going to hope that they go for Solar Beam in the Blastoise and close combat the Rotom, because Rotom's probably ironically, the biggest damage dealer right here to them. Okay, we will protect the Rotom. Did they close combat the Blastoise or the Rotom? Nice, okay. I need to hit through and get the Water Pulse off. Water Pulse should KO the Sneasler. I live Solar Beam guaranteed, even if it's modest max. I guaranteed live this. Yep. I'll calc the damage in the meantime. Come on. Come on, man. I KO this Sneasler in Sun with Water Pulse, and then we have a game. I think Snorlax is actually in a really good spot afterward. I'm guaranteed to KO this Sneasler in Sun with Water Pulse. Well, unfortunate. I got the call right, unfortunately, but swagger. There were 2 chances to self-hit there, but I think this turn was more important to hit. Hit through. My luck has not been good in Pokemon today, even before this match league. There's literally no out. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go for a double, I guess. Watch me get the double. Okay, I don't get the double. Yeah, good prep though from Mount. I gotta give him credit. The prep was really good from his side. Sableye plus Sneasler was not a combo I was really fearing, but it ended up putting in a lot of work. I'm just sad we don't go to game 3 because I do think that if I Water Pulse KO the Sneasler here, Snorlax should be in a really good spot with Rotom Heat to win against Charizard plus Garchomp. Because all I need is like Chip, and then the Snorlax is just in such a good wall position, but I can't win now because I really needed to KO the Sneasler here. I mean, they're going to click close combat. I'm going to review my Chople Berry, but yeah. I don't think my prep was that bad for this week. I think that Mount definitely had a bit better tools here. So that was the match, and GG's to Mount. Let me just say, his prep, phenomenal. I have to give him credits for the swagger, Sableye plus Unburdened Sneasler. I can't believe I didn't see that actually based on the lead. I've seen that so much on Stadium Ladder, not Sneasler plus Sableye specifically, but it's been like an old tech back in the like Gen 7 days. Like I thought I would maybe have like, you know, maybe call that out, but like, wow, like that was the only thing I wasn't prepped for. I thought he might have been worried about potential Focus Sash Spaffra, and then I just get blown up by like the Sneasler with the +2 because I was like, calced everything for a Spaffra, man. I should live, and then he just blows me up immediately, and I actually get punished for not going with the Kabaya Berry on the Aromatisse because I would have probably lived a Dire Claw +2 because of the Berry if I went with the more defensive set, but you live and you learn. The only thing that was frustrating to me is like I think I could have actually won game 2 with Snorlax Rotom Heats because of the Cell Swagger hits, which was unfortunate for me because I think if Snorlax plus Rotom Heat's able to clutch with game 2, I would have really loved to see the game 3 because game 3 I think I had an idea of like how to handle that lead as well as like have a pretty good general lead of like Spaffra. I think next to the Aromatisse would have actually been pretty good at potentially forcing like a trade from Mount. So I really wanted that game 3, but GG's to Mount, absolutely demon in Draft League, and yeah, definitely one of the opponents who definitely always gives me a tough match regardless. So make sure you go check him out down below as well as the rest of the coaches, and hopefully Jubilife Piplups will be able to make a comeback, especially because we're starting at 0-2. I usually always lose week 2 in a Draft League for some reason, but let us see how this is going to go as we still have more weeks of the Wolfey Draft League, and hopefully we can get back into the top shape and potentially start winning.